Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Okay, now we're going to talk about the carry. How do you carry a firearm for self-defense? Okay, the thing is, there's, for one thing, you have to remember, your man, they carry different than what a woman would. The type of firearm you're carrying, that will dictate the type of carry you're going to do. What made semi-automatics so popular, I was carrying back in the days when it was 38 and 357, but what made the semi-automatics more popular was there was more firepower, and there's a slimmer firearm, so it fits better in your belt or in the purse or stuff like that. So, and it's easier to pull out of something. There's less things to get caught on things. So that's what. So the carry is, you have to consider that. Now, they've got. I'm not going to demonstrate all that. I mean, you can go to channels and they'll show you all these really cool things and stuff like that. But like I say, I'm not into cool. I'm into something that works 100% of the time. Oh, I know there's people say, well, nothing goes 100% of the time. It does. If you do the right thing, they work 100% of the time. Now, there might be other things that don't work right, like their timing or your morals or, your skill levels and stuff like that. But once you get your marbles together, it works 100% of the time. And so carry is one of these things that you need to find something that will work, for what it does, it'll work 100% of the time. I've talked about my carry is on my back side. Some people will carry on their side in the belt. On the outside of the belt, I use a cross draw when I'm sitting in the car. I've showed you what that one was. They've got under your arm kind of carries and stuff like that. And you will find through the years, I used to have a big old box of holsters because I would buy a holster and find out they don't work. And so these are things you're going to go through. Holsters, I suggest you look at other people, how they're using their holsters, and get somebody's old holster and try their old holster. And it's better to buy a $5 holster than it would be, a lot of these holsters, $50, $100 for a holster. So, you're going to find out they're not worth a damn. So, and you're going to go through something. And the reason is you got your body type. Skinny guys, big old belly guys, all kinds of guys. So you're going to have to try all these different carries to find out what's going to work for you. The carries, and things that you need to consider on carrying. Now, in my convenience store shooting, I drew with my left hand. Now remember, this is a street gang came in to rob the convenience store I was in. They were watching me. They were looking at me. And while they were looking at me, I drew with my left hand and put the gun in my right hand, and then I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. So, but I didn't have to focus on drawing my weapon. Normally, I will draw my weapon multiple times a week. And so the drawing the weapon is just no big deal. I just reach and then I pull it out. There's no thought process in it. It's automatic. What my thinking is my surroundings, what's going on, who are the threats, where are the threats, how many threats there are. So these are the things I'm thinking about instead of trying to think about how I'm going to get my gun out. So the first thing I do is draw my weapon. That's the first thing I do. And then I evaluate the situation. Many times I've drawn my weapon in which there's nothing comes upon it. So then I just stick it back in. And when I draw it, I get my hand on it, I pull it up just enough, it's out of the holster and it's ready for action. And nothing happens, all I do is just let it back in again. And I say, keep your finger away from the trigger. You always keep your finger away from the trigger, because the finger is the safety. That's the main safety of your firearm. Keep your finger off the trigger and it won't go off. So, and like I say, so I do this all the time. It's not even practice anymore. It's not even practice, because I'm doing it because there's somebody there, and then I'll pull it, and I do it so it's natural. See, I've done it so much, it's natural looking. So when people see me, people all the time see me pull my weapon. They just don't even know I pulled my weapon, So, and they don't even know I've got a weapon. I've got videos talking about the tactics that I use on carrying my firearms. So the carry is something that you really need to experiment with and try it out. And like I say, you're going to have multiple different carries depending on the situation. Like I say, when I'm sitting in the car, I got a cross draw. If I was working in the office, I would have a cross draw where you're sitting down. But I don't sit down too well, so I'm always up and moving around. So that's why my carry is the way it is. And I say, you need to find a carry that you're really comfortable with. It's very easy for you to get to. Now my carry, it's so simple, people say, well, if you were rolling around on the ground fighting somebody, well, the gun might fall out. You're right. It will. If I'm chasing somebody or I'm running away from somebody and I got to jump over a fence, my gun will fall out. You're right again. Okay. So, but now remember, I'm not running. My energy is going to be spent on taking care of the situation. Rolling around on the floor. Okay, I'm not going to allow somebody to get that close to me in the first place. That's why I'm carrying a firearm. So people will stay away from me. Okay, you think I'm going to chase somebody and go jump over a fence, or just running it'll fall out? Okay, or, or no, I'm not. That's not self-defense when I got to run somebody down. Okay, and if I'm running away, I've made a video talking about avoiding violence at any cost. That's bullshit. You don't. You hold your ground. And that's what I do. I hold my ground. I'm not going to run. I'm right here. But you don't realize it, but I'm getting ready to shoot you. So calm down and get the hell away from me. Because I'm using my energy to defend myself, not run. I mean, anything can happen when you run. You might be running into where there's even more bad guys. If they're shooting and then you're running, somebody might think you're the bad guy. And especially if you pull out a gun, you're running with a gun, you're going to get shot. Somebody's going to think you're a bad guy. So I'm not going to run. I'm going to hold my ground. You know what I mean? And like I say, if your carry has got to reflect your abilities to get to it. I mean, I can reach behind me. Some people can't even reach behind them. So you have to figure out the kind of carry. You're going to have an ankle holster, or a woman on the thigh. There's lots of different carries. You just have to figure out what's going to work for you in the way you dress and your lifestyle and the types of threats that you're going to be encountering. But anyway, that's about carry. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and we've got more.